Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Montefusco and I'm a lover of all things when it comes to makeup, fragrance, and beauty. And today I'm going to be doing a swatch party of all of my Colourpop Super Shock Shadows. It's kind of hard to say. So I have a ton of these. In fact, I'm going to count them right now and tell you how many I have. I have 38. So I have 38 Colourpop Super Shock Shadows. I'm going to swatch them based on color story. So I've divided these out into a few different categories. So we have purples, blues, white iridescence, pinks, neutrals, and greens. So if you are interested in seeing my collection of Super Shocks, hearing my thoughts on them, seeing some color comparisons in these different color categories, then please keep on watching. So we're not going to be starting in any particular order. I'm just going to start with the category that's closest to me, and those are greens. And actually there's also one yellow in here just because I only had one yellow. So it's greens and yellow. So we're gonna just start out with the yellow. So this yellow I have is called Tankini. It's a yellow Super Shock shade. It's the only yellow I have. This is what it looks like. It's a metallic. I believe most, if not all of my Super Shocks are metallics or shimmers. So that's what the yellow looks like. It's a really pretty yellow shade. It's lovely for the inner corner. I quite enjoy that one. So the one that's probably closest to it is this one, which is called Pressed Juice. It's like a greeny yellow, but it's definitely more on the green side. And so I'll swatch that underneath the yellow and you'll see they're quite different. So Pressed Juice is definitely a translucent green shade, and then Tankini is very bright yellow. So very different. All right, so now we're gonna swatch the other one. So I have this one yellow shade, or green shade, excuse me, that's very much like a limey green. So we're gonna swatch this one. This one is called Fruit Punch, and it's a bright lime green. Bam, no dupes here so far. And then I think the next one that's probably similar is called Passionate Friend. This is from the BT21 collab. So this one I haven't even touched yet. It's like a marbled Super Shock. And it's a pretty light pastel-y green. It's probably similar to Pressed Juice a little bit, but this one has more pigment to it. And then next we're going to swatch the two greeny blues. So first we'll go with Obvi. And again, I'm not sure how many of these are still currently available on Colourpop, but I'll link below the ones that are available. So we have Obvi. So this one is like a greeny blue shade. That's what it looks like. The next greeny blue shade I have is from their recent like roller skating collab, and it's called Groove Tonight. And so this one I've used once already. Yeah, this one is probably just more of a blue. I probably should have put this in the blue category, but this is the only shade I have that is like this, so we'll keep it in the greens. And then last we have two darker greens, and I wanted to see how those compare to each other, which they don't look like they're going to be similar at all. So we have Rooftop Cocktails and we have Moonwalk. So I'll swatch Moonwalk first. This is just a classic brown to green duochrome. I probably could have put this in the neutrals, but because it has that green metallic, I was like, I'm just gonna put it in here. So it's a brown to green duochrome. It's really pretty. That green shift you can quite see on the eyes. And then lastly, we have Rooftop Cocktails. Rooftop Cocktails is like a purpley neutral to green almost. Again, maybe this was the wrong category for it, but there is a green shift to it. So I put it in here. Not sure if you can see that green shift, but these are all the greens. And I will be listing these in my description box down below if you want to see the order. So I started down this row and then I went down this row. So these are all the swatch comparisons of my green Super Shock Shadows. So total, we have 8 of them. All right, next up we have the neutral category, which is by far the largest. Actually, not by far. It's the largest. So I have 10 of these, I believe. Yeah, I have 10. So I had 8 in the greens and we have 10 neutrals. So we're just gonna swatch these. I'm not sure how these are gonna compare to each other. We'll see if we have any dupes here. So first I'm gonna start off with a little Quarky. And I bought this Super Shock because Lauren May Beauty loves this one and it is absolutely stunning. Some Super Shocks are prettier than others, and this is definitely one of the ones that is extra, extra beautiful. Look at that. Ugh. That shade is why, like, I think it's the epitome of why I am in love with the Super Shock formula. A little Quarky. Beautiful. Next up, we're going to compare it to 2014, which I do not think I've used this one yet. So we're going to swatch this one. This is another neutral, bronzy, pretty looking shade. It's definitely lighter than a little Quarky. Yeah, so there's 2014. Also very pretty formula. Definitely very metallic. So this one's a limited edition. I don't believe it's available anymore, and this is called Mycellium, and this is from Colourpop's collab with Raw Beauty Christie. I have hit pan on this. It's a really beautiful shade, but I try not to wear it on my channel just because it's not available anymore. So it's a little bit darker than the one I just swatched, which is called 2014, but they're similar in tone. But Mycellium's a tad bit darker. Again, another beautiful formula from Colourpop. Absolutely stunning. Just look at how shiny and sparkly that is. Ugh. And then next we have Mighty Morphin. So this to me is like a goldy to like pink. This one came broken, but I was able to press it back in. So you can definitely do that with these. If they break, you can just press them right back in. They're a really easy, like creamy formula. So that one's like a really light goldy shade with a little hint of a pink reflect. It's really beautiful. All right, next, another limited edition shade you can't get anymore. This one's It's My Party. It was released for their 8th anniversary, and if you can see, there's a little 8 embossed into there. This is another gold shade. I'm actually wearing it today in my brow bone and also my inner corner. So this is what it looks like. It's similar again to Mycellium, but this one I think is more of a true gold. And it's a bit warmer in tone, and Mycellium has a bit more like red in it. This one's a bit more orangey, but they're pretty similar in tone. You definitely don't need both. Next, I have Peekaboo, and this one is another like gold shade. I don't think I've used this one either. I've been buying a lot of Super Shocks recently, so that is why. Okay, this is like a champagne shade. Very interesting. So it's like a champagne-y shade. That's really pretty. So next I'm going to swatch 2 shadows from the BT21 collection. I'll swatch the one I used today in my crease, and that one is called Fluffy and Hungry. So you can't really see the marbling anymore because I did use it today, but it is a really pretty neutrally like orange shade. So this one is definitely the most orange out of all of them, but I consider that a neutral. So there it is. And by the way, I'm not like a really big BTS fan. I like a few of their songs that are on the radio, but I mostly just bought the Super Shocks. I just love the Super Shock formula, and I thought the marbling was really pretty. Next from that same collection, it's called Making Mischief. This is a brown, silver, hint of orange, kind of marbly shade. I haven't used this one. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's like a taupe. That's a really pretty cool toned taupe, which most of my Super Shocks that are neutral are very warm toned. So that is unlike any of my other Super Shocks. That is a cool toned taupe. And then the last 2 neutrals we have, I'm not sure if I'd consider these neutrals, but they'll go in here. We have So Quiche, which is one of their like classic shades. This was the first Colourpop Super Shock I ever owned. It dried out and then they recently re-released it, and so I bought it because I love this shade. This is a really unique shade. It's like a green, brown, taupe, purple kind of Super Shock. So I'm going to swatch that right there. So you can see there's green, there's purple, there's taupe, there's brown. This one's kind of hard to put in a category, but it is a really beautiful shade. I really enjoy that one. If you want a really easy but dramatic one shadow look, So Quiche is a very easy way to go. I think it's beautiful. And then last but not least, for the neutral category, we have Ritz. Probably one of the most popular Colourpop Super Shocks. I'm almost hit pan on this. I'm very close to hitting pan. Mine's a bit on the drier side. I might need a new one soon. It's a little bit crumbly, but it still works. So I'm just going to swatch that underneath the one I just swatched. So it's that last one right here, if you can see that. So these are all the neutral shades. I don't see any direct dupes in here, like with the greens. I didn't see any direct dupes. There were a few that were close. Yeah, I would say the closest ones, and again, I'm going to list these in order, but the closest ones that are dupes, probably the first three and the fifth one. But the fifth one has pink reflex to it, so maybe not the fifth one. But those first three, you definitely don't need these first three. You definitely don't need all these Super Shocks, especially if you're not like a neutral lover. But I thought it'd be helpful to do some swatch comparisons here. So those are all the shades. My hand is going to be so glittery by the end of this. Oh my goodness. All right, now we have some smaller categories. Thank goodness, because that was a lot. Let's move on to pinks. So I only have 5 pinks, and we'll just get started on the first one, which I think is probably my favorite one. This one's called Frog. It's just a light pastel pink. It's really beautiful. Like, look at how stunning that is. So this is just a light pastel, really beautiful pink. Very easy to wear. Great inner corner shade for me. Also just great all over the eyes. I love that one. Next up, probably one of the closer ones to it is Playful Sweetheart, again from the BT21 collection. I'm wearing this all over like my lids today, other than that dark hot pink section. So this one I think is gonna be close-ish. Yeah, it's close that it's a light pink, but it's definitely more of like a bam pink, while the other one's like a pastel pink. This one's a bit more in your face. So these are by far not dupes at all. Next up, we have Fancy Footwork, again from the skating collection. So this is what this one looks like. It's again another light pink, but this one, ooh, this one's kind of dry. I haven't used this one yet. I don't think I like this formula. Yeah, this one's a bit dry and crumbly. Again, it's a bit more of like a warmer toned pink. It is lighter. It's pretty, but it's definitely crumbly and dry. Not a fan of that. And I just got this in the mail, and like literally this week. So I don't know why it's so crumbly. And then lastly, we have 2 hot pinks that I'm going to compare to each other. This first one is one I used today, again from the BT21 collection. It's called Crown Prince. It's technically considered a Super Shock pigment. I guess this is technically not eye safe, but this one had a very little marbling to it. And this one's very soft and putty-like. And this one I would say is like a satiny shimmer kind of shade, but it's just like a hot pink. It's pretty. It's easy to use. I enjoy it. I have a feeling the next one is going to be pretty interesting. I haven't used this one yet. This is another Super Shock pigment. This is called Slave to Pink. I'm not a fan of that name, but I thought it was a pretty shade. So we're going to take a look. This one also came super broken, but I pressed it back in. It's just like a hot pink. I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like there's like some purple or blue reflect in there. Ooh, that one's really cool. Yeah, this one's a bit sheerer and has a bit more interest to it than the one from the BT21 collection. So these are all the pinks. No dupes in here, but the second and third one are pretty similar, but no direct dupes. All right, next up we have our smallest category, which is the iridescent white category. So I only have 3 of these, and I'll start out with the Colourpop's Peeps collab that I have, and this is called Peeps White. And this one's pretty icy white, to be honest. There's not much iridescent going on here, but if you want a white shade, if you're in a corner, your brow bone, to put on your lid, whatever, this is a good one. I quite enjoy this. Next up in this category, we have Ice Dream. This one I think is really beautiful. This one has like a purple reflect. This one also came very broken, but I just pressed it back in. But this purple reflect is really, really beautiful. Oh, look at that. That is absolutely stunning. I love the shade. Love this shade. If you want an iridescent purple, super cheap shadow, like white to purple, ooh, that is the way to go. The last one in this category is from the Disney Princess collab, and this one is called I'm Wishing. So this is the one with this is like the Snow White shade, and it's just like a white to pink duochrome. This one isn't my favorite. It's a bit on the drier side. It's pretty once you work with it, but it's not my absolute favorite. So those are the three like white / iridescent white shades that I thought would go well swatched together. So there you go. All right, next up we have blues. So I have 6 blue shades, I believe. Yes, I do. I have 6 blues. One of them, I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, but I have a feeling I might have some dupes in here. So we're gonna start with this one. This is again from the BT21 collab. This one came a little bit broken. This is what it looks like. This one's called Just Like Sunshine. This might be a blue or this might be a purple. It's like a periwinkle. It's kind of both. Interesting. So I haven't used this one yet. Ooh, that one's really pretty. So it's like a periwinkle bluish purple. It's kind of a blurple. I like that one. I need to use that on my eyes. Again, the ones I haven't used, I mostly got in the mail like this past week. I kind of went crazy on Super Shots because I love them. This one might be similar-ish. This one might be a bit of a blurple. This one's called 22, oh wait, no. This one's called REM, R-E-M. I thought it was called 22F2, but I guess that's some sort of code. This one's called REM, like rapid eye movement. Again, I have not used this one. This is a new one in my collection. Ooh, this one's like really creamy and wet. Okay, this is a lighter version of the one I just swatched. This is a lighter blurple or like periwinkle. It's really pretty. You don't need both, but it's very pretty and they're different. Next up, I'm gonna swatch this one from the skating collection. This one's called Shining Star. This one again might be a bit of a blue purple situation. I'm not sure. Whoa, okay, these three are very similar in tone. You do not need all three. You could easily pick one. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the BT21 collab just because it has the most like sparkle in it. And this one's probably my least favorite. These skating ones I'm not the biggest fan of. They're not super shimmery. They're just kind of like satins. But yeah, these three are very similar. The first two are by far my favorite. This one's just okay. Next up, I'm going to swatch this light blue. This one's called Moon Daisy. I don't think this one is a super great like formula. This one's an ultra glitter. Yeah, this one's really dry and just really translucent. I remember using this one and I was like, no. This one's probably my least favorite Super Shock. It's okay. I mean, it's still pretty. It's still workable. But it's just really dry and not very pigmented. And it's not like pretty enough to be a topper. It's just kind of a weird one. I guess technically I have 7 blues. I think I said I had 6. I have 7. Let's swatch this one. So this one is called Mint for You. This is a minty blue kind of shade. This one's really pretty. I love this one. Ooh, look at that. That one's beautiful. We're definitely moving more toward into like greeny blues instead of purpley blurples. So this is definitely a different tone than the ones I just swatched, but very pretty. Then next, I want to swatch this one, which is called Kale Yeah. This is another ultra glitter. I think some of the ultra glitters are nice and some of them are not. I haven't used this one yet. This is another new one. This is a bit on the drier side, but it is plenty pigmented and very different from the other ones I've swatched so far. Then lastly for the blues, we have this one, which is called Lapdog. It's another ultra glitter. I have also not used this one yet because it is new. Okay, this one's different as well. There we go. So there's all the blues / blurples. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off Moon Daisy and these three, the last 3 I swatched, and I'm just gonna keep the periwinkle on, so then when I swatch the purples, you can also see them. But this is the blues / blurples. There's some dupes, or at least really close ones. But yeah, very pretty. Okay, so as a reminder, these first 3 blurples, we started with Just Like Sunshine, which is my favorite. Then we went into REM, which is probably my second favorite. And then my least favorite of the blurples is Shining Star. So now we're gonna go on to the true purples, which is the last category. And we have 5 of these. So I'm gonna start out with the BT21 collab, which is called Truly Loving. I have not tried this one, and since this one is kind of a marbly one, remains to be seen what it's gonna look like. Oh, it's like a pastel purple. That's really pretty. Yeah, this one's definitely a pastel, really pretty purple. I like that one a lot. That's a good Super Shock. Next up, we have the Griffith, which is a like dusty purple. I remember using this one. I remember thinking this one was really pretty and definitely a very wearable purple. Look at that. Very wearable, very shiny, very pretty. Does it have any sparkles in it? No, but that is okay. I think this one's super reflective. Next up, I think I'm gonna swatch this one, which is called You're My Sunshine. And this one is like a hot pinky purple. I have not used this one yet. Ooh, this one's really dry. Oh, this is pink. This is just full on pink. Whoops, it looked kind of purple in the pan. Yeah, that's a hot pink. Okay, never mind. That is a hot pink, and it looks like the other hot pinks that I've swatched, like this one. I want to see how this one compares to this one. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. Let's swatch it. Okay, they're not the same. Sorry. So I was comparing You're My Sunshine to Slave to Pink, and they're similar, but Slave to Pink is a bit more translucent and has a bit more of like a purpley reflect, while this one's just like a hot dark pink. It looked purple in the thing to me, but I guess it was not. Yeah, very interesting. They're not dupes. I don't think you need both. Okay, now we're moving back on purples, the last 2 shades. This one's really pretty. I haven't used this one yet, but it looks really pretty in the pan. This one's called Fame Game. This is also from the Skate collection. Hopefully it's not like unbearably dry. Oh yeah, that actually feels nice. Oh, this one looks really pretty. This might be the one from the Skate collection I really like. Yeah, that one's beautiful. Again, a warmer tone purple, but very pretty. I quite like that one. And then lastly, we have this really dark purple, which is called YOLO. This one I have not used yet. This one looks kind of dry. No, it's actually very wet. This one's very creamy. Very dark purple. Very dramatic. Very deep. And it has a beautiful pink reflect. Ooh, that is stunning. So those are the purples with some blurples and also some pinks, because I thought that one looked purple, but it did not. It was not a purple. So yeah, those are all of my Colourpop Super Shocks. Just thought I would have a little swatch party, a little chat with you all, have some fun, and really tell you about the shades that I think are really beautiful in the pan, really exceptional, the ones that are just okay, and the ones that personally aren't my favorite, because just because it says Colourpop Super Shock, it does not mean that they're all created equally or that they're all, the same finish. There's definitely varieties between Super Shocks, and now that I have a collection of almost 40 of them, I feel like I'm able to give you all a pretty good overview of like the current offerings of what Colourpop has to offer with their Super Shocks. So this is a pretty casual video, just talking through some eyeshadows. My hand is stained pink and is very glittery. My fingers are stained pink and are also very glittery. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I always enjoy making little swatch parties like this. If you like this video, please like this video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps me know what kinds of content that you'd like to see on my channel. If you like me, please subscribe. I'd love to have you all here. And if you have anything to comment down below, questions, concerns, whatever, just let me know. I love chatting with you all. And yeah, that is it for today's video. It was a long one. At least it felt really long, swatching 38 shadows. But I hope you all enjoyed it. And yeah, I will see you all next time. And thank you for spending part of your day with me.